to you. We are expecting any moment now to hear from Governor Rick Perry, who has been touring the damage out at Steiner Ranch today.
Was in a chopper as recently as 10 minutes ago, and we can, while we wait for the governor to start speaking and giving the assessment, we can give you the latest update as far as Steiner Ranch. Still closed. A lot of this information that's going to come out will determine when people can get back in and get another look. That is what you're looking at in Bastrop. We saw the governor there yesterday with Judge Ronnie McDonald there, said he has been discussing state and federal assistance, and now we have learned that last night a late-night phone call between the FEMA director and Congressman Michael McCall assured that FEMA will be on the ground in that area and other parts of Central Texas as early as right now. They were scheduled to start this morning. Originally, we were told Wednesday FEMA would be arriving, but a late-night call with Congressman McCall, and now that FEMA expected to arrive today.
Well, they are certainly going to be requesting some federal assistance. You could see that fire there, just massive, 25,000 acres, 500, close to 500 structures now have burned, and we were just watching really in amazement as that fire burned this morning. We were seeing those bright orange pictures. You could see some helicopters there. We're hoping they get more of those helicopters in the air sometime today.
Yeah, very strange to watch as we came on the air at 4:30 in the morning. Of course, completely dark outside, and this huge glow over a big part of Bastrop there right between Smithville, and it was really something to see. As far as the governor giving an update from the Steiner Ranch area, our Erin Cargile has been there all morning. She went in actually at 6 a.m. this morning in anticipation of the governor arriving and taking the tour, and then has told us at 10:30 this morning officials, probably Austin fire officials and other elected officials, going to have a news release and a very brief update on the situation there. We also know that in Steiner Ranch, Austin Energy has been working all night long trying to restore power in that area. Electricity, a key factor in trying to get a damage assessment. You can't really get an assessment without that. So Austin Energy working as well. Let's get the latest as the governor now going to address and give us an update on the Steiner Ranch situation. Let's listen in.
To make it some done. Right next to jail.
It is, indeed.
Morning,
Roland. Hey, how are you, sir? So thank you all for coming out, joining us today, and I want to say a special thanks to the Senator for coming, and I know his heartfelt condolences to those that have lost their homes out there. Paul, thank you for coming as well. We just got through taking just an aerial tour of the Steiner Ranch area. Obviously one of the most heavily damaged neighborhoods in the immediate area of Austin, and pretty powerful visuals of individuals who've lost everything from the standpoint of their homes and possessions, and it was just important for the Senator and myself to get a first-hand view of the impact of these fires on our citizens' lives, and you get a pretty good perspective from the air about the area that's impacted, and then just the haphazardness of it as well. One home that would be absolutely and totally destroyed, and another home sitting right there beside it that some reason or other, I don't know whose this is, but I'm going to let you have it back. It's a dead low battery. I apologize to pull that on you, but it's great. Thank you. If it's through beeping, we'll be good to go. Thank you. The magnitude of these losses are pretty stunning. Some 1,000 homes that we've lost across the state. We're over 100,000 acres of new fires. Even with this tragedy, the good news is that there are no lives lost in these neighborhoods. Yesterday when we were in Bastrop, we saw the extent of damage that's suffered throughout this area of Central Texas, and I made the comment that it's one of the meanest fires that I've ever seen, and what my characterization was that this fire, just the dark clouds of, whether it was a automobile or a home or a propane tank that had exploded, and you just don't. You see, when we have fires of this type, you normally would see white smoke, and these they're interspersed with substantial amounts of black smoke, which is unfortunately homes and people's possessions, lifetimes people's collections being lost. But again, no lives have been lost at this particular point in time. Across the state, we've had, as I shared with you, over 1,000 homes have been destroyed. We got a lot of Texans living in shelters now, living with friends, and a reflection of Texans taking care of Texans. It's what they do, living with friends and loved ones, and in some cases, rank strangers taking care of people they never met before. And it's a storyline that we've seen too many times across our state this year. Some 3.6 million acres now have been burned since fire season started in last December. That landmass is equal to approximately the size of the state of Connecticut. As these dry conditions persist, it's pretty easy to forget the potential devastation from one careless act, and as we have said a number of times over the past week, it bears repeating. Texans need to really be careful as they go outside in any activities that could cause a brush fire. And at this point, we're just urging people to avoid any outdoor activity which could conceivably start a fire. It's just too dry to take any action that could cause one of these massive fires to get started. Over the past day, I've had a chance to meet with people caught in this wildfire's path, some who've lost everything, some who have not been able to go back into neighborhoods to know whether or not their homes, their possessions have been lost. And I've also had the opportunity, Senator, to talk to some of the bravest men and women that we have. That's our firefighters, emergency medical technicians, all these first responders who are making a difference in people's lives, defending property and lives. And I thank them for that. We're blessed in this state to have some of the most talented, most dedicated first responders in the nation. Unfortunately, they get a lot of practice, whether it's hurricanes or tornadoes. We still do have floods, but these wildfires have had their substantial impact on this state. We will continue to make sure that our state resources are available and are properly applied to help limit the damage to these massive wildfires. And again, I want to remind everyone to stay out of harm's way, follow instructions. When there is a call for evacuation, take it very seriously. Yes, your homes and your possessions are important, but there's nothing more important than people's lives. So stay tuned to the reports about where these wildfires are, what direction they're moving. Find your way to safety when one of these fires threaten your area. Now I'd like to ask Nim Kidd, he's our State's Director of Emergency Management, to come forward and just give you some quick details about the current status of the fires that we've got now. I think we're over 50 fires that we're managing from a state standpoint. And I want to remind people that's just the number of fires that the state is managing. We've got a substantial number of fires that the local fire departments are handling on their own. San Antonio yesterday, they had a 2-alarm blaze that they took care of themselves. And there's a lot of that going on across the state, fires that are being handled just by the local fire departments, volunteer firefighters across the state, working in conjunction with our paid firefighters.